Today we're taking a look at a super light and super powerful little titanium stove. Today we're looking at the Fire Maple FMS 116T titanium stove. Let's check it out. All right, folks, welcome back. So when we think of lightweight stoves for your bug out bags or your emergency gear, we often think of this guy right here, this little BRS 3000T titanium, okay? And while it is a little bit lighter and a little bit smaller, my complaint with it is it won't hold bigger pots and it doesn't simmer very well. As you can tell, it's just not that big. So if you're using this to actually cook something other than a very rapid boiling of water, it won't be probably as well as what we have there. Now the Fire Maple is actually the original intent of the stove, and if you look at a lot of pictures, you'll notice some of the brass and steel parts on this, so it isn't as light. Okay, it does have big, nice, wide pot stands, and that is what we were going for. The pot stands are also far enough away where they're not going to get overheated, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So as you can see here, you got a much wider base to operate on compared to the BRS. All right. Now, one thing I have noticed with the BRS that kind of frustrates me is it has a finicky valve on it. If you've had a couple of these, you know sometimes it'll go full on. Sometimes you can't get it to go low. If you want to just boil water straight up, they're awesome. And if that's what your plan is for your bug out gear or your get home bag or whatever, that's great. You know, if you're using freeze-dried meals, you just want a 1 or 2 minute boil really quick, more like two minutes and 50 seconds. You'll do okay on that. That's okay. But I have about 3 or 4 of these now, and I can tell you that the valves can be very finicky. It's frustrating when you can't control the flame, and even worse when it won't shut off. And I actually had that with one that I actually sent back. I turned it all the way off, and it wouldn't shut off. I had to literally disconnect it from the can, which is very dangerous while it's burning. And, you know, it was okay. I took it outside and did it, but still, it's kind of scary. Now, if you get one that works, though, I'm not saying these are horrible. If you get one that works, that's awesome. But it's kind of scary. So I think this one has a little bit of a higher quality valve. It's a little more predictable and acts in a repeatable manner. So you can manage to heat better. And the longer stove stem on this one kind of keeps everything a little bit cooler too, which is very handy when you're that close to a isobutane canister. Now, as we mentioned before, the big key difference is the top. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see it. Let me see if I can compare the two. But it has much bigger pot holders on there. The Fire Maple does. Now the BRS also has that louvered kind of flame spreader. Let me show you what I'm talking about there. And the Fire Maple doesn't have that. Now this seems like a good idea in theory, but in practice it actually concentrates a whole lot of heat on the outside parts here. And these can get superheated and become weak or bend. I have seen them get red hot. I haven't had any bend on me, but they do get close to it. And some people have reported that it actually overheats it and they can sag a little bit or completely bend when the stove's on full blast. So this got me thinking about a lighter weight stove that could handle a little bit larger pots and be a bit more steady. And I've been looking all over for something like that ever since. This is actually out of my get home bag when I go on a trip somewhere for the day or whatever. And I wanted to change it out with something a little bit more reliable because yes, most of my stuff's going to be boiling water for freeze-dried meals. But if I decide to do something differently, I want something that's going to be able to be a little lower in simmer where I can actually cook on it as opposed to this where if I'm cooking eggs on this, I'm eating burned eggs. So that's kind of the deal here. Now, this one packs an incredibly small punch to it and can use most cook pots for, you know, for whatever you're going to be doing, whether it's larger or smaller. It also has a very handy little storage container back here. If you notice, I'm going to take this out of the way now. Back here is its storage container. And this is kind of neat. You just basically will fold it all up, move that to the center, and just drop it in there. And the middle of the stem in there will snap onto that base, and you can just screw this thing right on, and there you go. So it kind of protects it a little bit from getting dinged up, and it also keeps it nice and safe in there, so you won't have to worry about it. It's a nice, small, compact package. Now, yes, this has a little bag. And, you know, I still worry about these things getting bent or messed up in my go bag. So that's why I'm going to be changing it out. Now, these are also compatible with adapters so you can cook these to those Coleman style propane canisters. The case gives you a little bit of protection, like we said. And mainly this is made of titanium in the center portion. And the other materials include brass, hard anodized aluminum, and stainless steel. Now, the weight on this, 1.7 ounces or 48 grams. I believe this one is 25 grams. So it is a little heavier, but I mean, that's nothing compared to what, if you're used to carrying one of the more heavier stoves, that's nothing. The round style valve on it will give you a little more space, and it will also improve the stability and durability of it. And this is really designed for backpacking and, outdoor cooking and stuff like that. I think it would be an awesome thing to have in your emergency kit, your hurricane supplies kit, stuff like that. So what we're going to do today is we're going to boil 2 cups of water, and we're going to try out, I got this recently in a box, I'm going to try out this Borvo broth. We're going to boil 2 cups of water. I believe that only takes like a cup and a half. But we're going to boil 2 cups of water and time it and see how well it works. Now, of course, we're using a brand new isobutane canister. I want to start off, right there from the beginning. And it's kind of uneven. But anyway, we're going to be using that out. And we're going to try it out and see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up, and we're going to get our timer out, and we're going to get our water ready and give it a shot and see how well it works. All right, so we're all set here. I'm going to put my 2 cups of water in my little titanium cup here. You guys saw me review this stuff a while back. This is graduated with markings on it, but I decided to do it in here so you could just see. And this takes 8 to 10 ounces of water, so we'll pour it back into the guy here, and we'll see what we're doing with it. So let's light it up. I have lit it up once before just to make sure it worked before the video, but this is going to be its first real test. There we go. Look how low you can get that. Look how controllable that flame is. That's pretty darn awesome. Now what I'm going to do here quickly, I want to let you know how loud this thing is, and I have a little meter here, because it's really not that loud even on high. So let's get it going over here. Getting about 78, 76 decibels. I put it on hold when I started talking. Anyway, not really loud, not a loud stove, and I just put it out, which I didn't mean to do. But you can see how controllable that flame is. If I wanted to cook over this, that is so easy to do. But today, for our purposes, we're looking to boil water as fast as possible. So I've got my little timer out here, and we're going to put this on here and fire it up and start the timer. And I will let you know. Let's see, there we go, we're going. Let you know how long that takes. Let's put a lid on it, and I will bring you back when we have boiling water. I'm stopping it at 158. We have boiling water, and I'm going to turn that down quick. That was fast. That was insanely fast. You saw how that was boiling over. So let me get the right amount of water in my cup here, and this is actually going to be a part taste test of this stuff too. I want to see how this tastes. But let me get it in the cup there, and I'll tell you just how it did. All right, so aside from the insanely fast boiling time, and that was ice cold water. I got it right from my my sink inside. I'm going to just dump this in. I did about 9 ounces of water. Still have a little bit left in there, of course, because that was 16 ounces total. We'll mix it up and see how we like it. But I really like the stove, and I wasn't prepared for that to be that quick. I was kind of sitting back, relaxing, going, okay, I'm going to take about 2.5, 3 minutes, and boom, 2 minutes, it started shaking this thing around. I do like the stability of the base there. That was really nice to see. I am being careful because this is still hot. Had to move this thing off the side there before when we were finishing up the video last time, because it was starting to melt the plastic, and that was hot too. But I do like the stability. I like the fact that it's got a wider base. You could do a canteen cup on this and not worry about it teetering and tottering all over the place. And once it gets boiling, you don't have that issue of it spilling over and tipping over. I mean, that thing was rocking and rolling when I turned the video on, as you saw. That tastes really good, and seemed to hold up very, very well. So I am very pleased with the stove. It's really ultralight and portable. Nice thing about titanium too, and why I prefer it for bug out and get home stuff, is it cools off quickly. Now, in a cold environment, that might be a negative, but if I have to stop on the side of the road in some kind of massive unrest situation and make myself a quick meal, chances are pretty slim I'm going to be doing that. But if I do have to do it, I can wait a minute or two, and by the time I'm done eating, that thing's going to be nice and cold and ready to stick back in its case and head on out. So you're not dealing with like a stainless steel heavy double-walled mug or something. All titanium cools off fairly quickly. So let me try out this broth here for a sec. Wow, that is really good. I really like that. So definitely get my recommendation on the Borvo broth. but I really like the stove. I think it's going to be a nice replacement for the little BRS. The BRS still has a place in your preps. You know, if you're doing a really ultralight kit, maybe you can get this with one of those little refillable, smaller canisters. And, yeah, it's got a place in it. But I like this better for my uses. If I'm making coffee, remember, that kit goes with me no matter where I'm going. If I'm staying in a hotel, whatever, if I'm traveling, that kit is with me. If I'm staying in a hotel and I'm making myself some coffee in the morning, I don't necessarily want to worry about coffee falling all over the place with this thing on it. That's a little more stable, a little more secure. So definitely like it. And it seems to be cooling off already. That's why I touched it there. Yeah, it seems to be cooling off already. So that's really cool. Anyway, folks, that is the Fire Maple FMS 116T titanium stove. The materials on it are aluminum, stainless steel, brass, and titanium. The product dimensions, 3.78 inches by 3.74 inches wide and 2.68 inches tall. Power source, of course, isobutane, or you can get the adapter and run it off pretty much anything with a decent adapter. 2,300 watts output, and the item weight is 1.7 ounces or 48 grams. Definitely a neat little system and an easy way to get your food going really, really quick. Really impressed with how quick that boiled the water. And a little bit of a bigger cooking surface too. I did notice that these got hot. They got red hot, but they didn't seem like they were going to bend anywhere. I mean, they're still movable and everything's fine. So they didn't seem like they were going to bend off. On the BRS, sometimes it just looks like the whole thing gets red hot and you're afraid it's just going to break right off. So I'm definitely liking it. We'll definitely probably be picking up another one for my other kits. And I'm impressed with it. And the price on them was not bad, $39.95. Now, there is an Amazon coupon on Amazon at the making of this video that will give you 10% off. It's not my coupon, not the manufacturer's coupon. It's on Amazon right under the price, and you tick that little box and it says save 10% coupon on site. So if it's not there 6 months from now when you're looking at this video, you'll understand why. It's just there right now. So definitely check that out. You can save a little bit of money, but for like $40, titanium stove that's pretty well made and rather affordable compared to most titanium gear, I'm not complaining. It's pretty darn good. And if you want to try this stuff out, definitely check it out. Pretty darn good. I'm going to finish this up, and I will leave a link for you down below where you can pick up the stove. That link will be right down here, along with our Amazon store. Again, if there's nothing in the store that you're interested in, just click the link, shop as you normally would. We really do appreciate when you do that. Our freeze-dried wholesalers link. Don't forget to check that out. I have some interesting stuff coming up with freeze-dried wholesalers as far as what I'm going to do with some of it. I'm going to try and make some meals in a jar. Pre-made meals that are ready to go. Toss in an oxygen absorber, see how long they last. But we will be trying that out too. And he has everything pretty much back in stock for a few things here and there. My link will save you 15%. Click the link, shop as you normally would. When you get to the checkout, you'll see my discount right there. Save 15% on that. A lot of people have told me they've saved a lot of money using my link. Our My Patriot Supply link, remember this month we have a 4-week kit with $80 off. All right, that's 4 weeks worth of food, under $200. 25-year shelf life, 2 big buckets of food, all sorts of varieties, 2,000 calories a day, great stuff. And as always, our Thrive Life freeze-dried food store. You don't have to join anything to try it out. You can just order it online, have it delivered to you. If you decide to be a delivery customer or consultant, yeah, you'll pay for that. You'll join up, but you'll save a lot of money. But to just try it out and start, see if you like it, by all means, give it a shot. I thank you folks for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.